we're taking a look at the Chefman electric pizza oven. We're gonna be cooking Neapolitan style pizza. New York style pizza. Thin crust. And pan pizza. I cook a lot of pizzas and do a lot of pizza parties, and everyone always asks me, which pizza oven should I buy? And generally I cook on a Roccbox and a Ooni Koda 16, but a lot of people want something a little more simple. And so I saw this at Costco and thought, let's put it through its paces. I'm interested to see how it does. The thing I'm most intrigued about is the heating element on the bottom. Most pizza ovens, the fire is what heats them up, so this will be interesting. Let's take a look at the different settings we can go through and try out today. First off, we've got manual mode. We can go in and set the temperature for the lower and upper, anywhere from 300 to 800. Today we're gonna be testing the other features. So Neapolitan, New York, thin crust, and pan pizza. Over here there is an alarm you can set to tell you when your pizza is done, which if you're doing one of the features, one of the presets, it will set the timer for you. You just click the button in and it will start. We'll go through that. But it does not shut off the pizza oven when the alarm goes off. It'll keep cooking. So let's take a look inside. We've got our pizza stone and our heating element up top. The pizza oven also comes with a pizza peel, which is a nice thing to include. It's a perforated one, which I really like because when your pizza dough's on there, you can shake the flour and it drops. First thing I want to test out is to see how long this takes to heat up to make a Neapolitan style pizza. In this oven, the preset is 750 up top and 750 below. Usually Neapolitan's cooked hotter, but today we're just trying the presets. So let's go ahead and show you how it works. So let's get started by turning it on. We will select Neapolitan, which it was already on there, manual. Neapolitan, sets it for 750 on both dials, and then we click start. It shows it's a 20-minute pre-start time, it's a 20-minute warm-up time. We're gonna keep checking the temperature to really time how long it takes to get up to 750. We checked it at 5 minutes. We checked it again at 10 minutes, and we checked again at 15 minutes. Now we are 20 minutes in. Let's take a look. We're going right in the middle of the stone as always. It's sitting right at 798. So yeah, that's exactly 800 degrees. I'm excited. So our first pizza we're gonna make, margarita, typical Neapolitan style. This dough is Neapolitan style dough, 225 grams, for those of you at home who are wondering. And we're just gonna follow the directions on this to a T. I mean, I usually cook mine around 800, which this says 750, but it's at 800, so. I love that it came with a peel because this is our gauge on what size pizza we should be making. So you can hold the peel over and you can see we need another inch or two. So I'm gonna stretch it out just a little further. Let's go on with our San Marzano tomatoes. Very typical for a Neapolitan style pizza. A little olive oil. I like to add just a little bit of salt since fresh mozzarella doesn't really have any. Pepper adds a nice touch. And of course, fresh mozz. A little flour right in front. Get it on the peel. And now we'll stretch it out to fit the peel a little better. We've got our final stretch done. So now we've got a nice 12-inch Neapolitan style pizza.
Hold it up, yeah.
So let's go in the oven with it. And then we just push our set alarm. And that starts our timer. 2.5 minutes is what it's recommending. So you can see the crust, especially over here on the right. Look how much it's blooming already. It's really just puffed up. That's good news. That's a good sign. It's taking everything inside me right now not to want to rotate and turn the pizza, because in a typical pizza oven, you are rotating it constantly. But I'm just testing it out as is, simple as can be, throwing it in, letting it go, and we see what happens. Okay, our timer just went off. 2.5 minutes in. Ooh, look at that. Take a look. Okay, so just initial assessment here. It looks like this half, the crust cooked really well. Let's see how crunchy it is. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Great crunch. This half has some crunch, but you can even see the sauce and cheese have blended better. The cheese isn't all the way melted. Let's let it cool down, and then we'll take a look at the undercarriage. Pretty consistent throughout. Some great leoparding, but also some burn marks. Like, it's straight up burned. And come over here and look. You can see on the stone, it kind of scorched.
Maybe open it.
Yeah, take a look. It kind of scorched on the bottom. And just in between, you can just take your peel, kind of clean it. We'll have to get a vacuum later and vacuum that out. If I were to try doing a margarita again, just from my initial assessment here, I would go a full 3 minutes, rotate it halfway through, because I like this coloring all around. So 3 minutes, rotate halfway through, and probably set the stone on the bottom a little lower, because it's scorched it. But let's go ahead and try a bite. Let's try a bite. For just a first time, just following exactly what it says, and this was the only pizza you ever cranked out, and you went from never making pizza to this, I'd be super content and happy. I mean, this is really good. Let's try it from the half that didn't cook as well on top. Still really good. I mean, this is better than getting Little Caesars, Domino's, most pizza places. This is better. The crust on this side is a lot softer. It doesn't have that crunch. So let's try and make some tweaks and see what we can come up with. So here's the adjustments we've made so far. We're on manual mode, 650 on the bottom and 800 on the top. Let's check the stone. Right in the middle, we're at 765. So a little cooler than last time, but hopefully with the heating element lower this time, we don't scorch the bottom. So we've got a margarita pizza again. Let's go in with the pizza. Okay, I'm setting it for 3 minutes, but we're gonna keep a close eye on it. 1 minute in. Already you can see the crust has just bloomed up. So let's do a rotate, just a half flip, let it keep going. We're 2 minutes in. Let's take it out and just take a quick look and see how we're doing. It's looking pretty good. Let's do a little rotate, just a quarter turn this time. Okay, our 3 minute timer just went off. Let's see how we did. Ooh, yes, that's looking a lot better. Take a look at that. You can see it's browned more evenly around. Let's check the crust. Ooh, hot and crunchy. Oh yeah. So let's let this cool down just for a sec, and then we'll take a look at the undercarriage. Okay, check out the undercarriage. That's actually really good. There are a few scorch marks still, but that happens even on my gas-fired pizza ovens. But overall, that's a great uniform crust. Let's cut into it and see how it looks. You gotta be excited when you can hear a crunch like that when you're cutting it. I don't see how you couldn't be. Okay, let's take a look here. Listen in. Crunch. Oh. Try the crust. So this is our second pizza we've cooked on this, and it's years ahead of the second pizza I made in my oven. let alone my second pizza I made in my Roccbox or my Ooni. This thing does make it way easier. And this is a really good pizza. This is on par. Honestly, this is not a paid promotion. I don't know if I started with that. I bought this with my own money just to try it out. This isn't paid promotion. But this is cranking out pizzas that are almost on par with my pizza oven. The only thing I'm not getting is more leoparding on the crust, but I do like how browned the crust is because it's crunchy. Our first pizza, the margarita, I would say is a success. We can keep fine tuning it, but for only cooking 2, it's got a thumbs up in my book. Our next pizza is a New York style pizza. We've got some New York style dough, which is similar to our Neapolitan style dough, but we've added some oil and sugar to help the crust brown a little more at the lower temperature. It's also 225 grams, just like the Neapolitan style. We have our New York style pizza ready to go. The oven, the bottom temp is set at 650. The top temp is at 600, and it recommends 5 minutes in the oven. We'll go ahead and put that in. We'll come back and flip it halfway through. It's going for a little halftime flip. Crust is looking good. It's poofed up pretty good. Okay, timer has just gone off. Oh, that's looking good. Take a look at this. Come in close. Look at that crust. Browned all around. Oh yeah, that's a hard crust right there. Yes. Let's take a look at the undercarriage. Nice and browned, evenly all around. It's looking good. It's crispy too. Let's try a bite. Oh, that is a beautiful crunch. Okay. I love that crunch.
It sounded good.
It is good. I just want to keep biting the crust all day. New York style definitely gets a thumbs up in my book. I think the temps, the preset is perfect. I wouldn't change it, at least not yet. That's a wrap. Now on to thin crust. We've got our dough here. This one's 175 grams, so quite a bit less, so that way we can get a nice thin crust. We're gonna roll it out with a rolling pin, not being careful to preserve the outside crust, because on the thin crust, there really isn't an outside crust. We've got ourselves a good 12-inch thin crust, and on the thin crust, we push the sauce, cheese, all the way out as far as we can. We don't want to go too heavy on the cheese. This is a thin crust. Cheese all the way to the outside. Okay, clear the excess. Thin crust is ready. I'm excited. I've never made one before. Make sure we're getting as close as we can to 12 inches. On the thin crust, it has a 700 temp on the stone, 500 temp up above, recommends 7 minutes. So we're gonna follow that recommendation, but we'll flip halfway through. Seven minutes are up. Our thin crust is ready. Whoa, pizza oven doesn't want to give it up. Okay, go ahead and take a look at that. Appreciate its glory. I bet I can just hold it like this.
Oh.
Strong undercarriage. I mean, this thing is gonna have like no flop. I mean, look at that. That's got integrity. Look at that. Holy cow. Okay, let's chop it up. I think thin crust, from what I've seen, they cut it more like into squares. You can tell I did a very good job of doing. Okay, look at that. You could put a 10-pound weight on that and it's not going anywhere. Great undercarriage. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's try it. How have I not done thin crust before this? I mean, listen to that. This thing's a machine. Really enjoying the crunch. There's sometimes I want pizza that has a nice crunch to it, like a Totino's, but Totino's aren't very good. This is way better. Last and certainly not least, pan pizza. Otherwise known as deep dish, Sicilian, grandma. So what we have going on here, we've got a Blackstone deep dish pizza kit. Picked it up on clearance at Walmart. I don't know the size. I'm gonna guess it's 10 by 10, somewhere around there. Cast iron pan. We have 350 grams of our New York style pizza dough. And I've pressed it out and I've allowed it to grow. So you can see here, it actually has grown. We wanna leave it and let it blossom. So let's hit it with some sauce. Got our sauce. Now let's go in with some cheese. And on these type of pizzas, the deep dish, I like it when the cheese covers the crust and kind of gets stuck between the crust and the cast iron. It gets this nice, crispy texture. So for the pan pizza, we're looking at 600 lower temp and 450 upper temp. Let me check the notes. So it's actually 475 for the upper temp and 600 for the lower temp. And it recommends 14 minutes. So let's go ahead and get this in. I'm gonna warn you now, it barely fits, but it does fit. Set the timer. Boom. Our timer just went off. 14 minutes is up. Let's get this pizza out. Oh, that's looking good. I am actually very interested to see what the bottom, the undercarriage looks like, because the cast iron we didn't heat up before, we just threw it in with the pizza. So I'm a little worried the bottom won't be crispy, but maybe it will. So let's check it out. Anytime you make grandma pizza or pan pizza, I like to put it on a cooling rack pretty soon thereafter so it doesn't get a soggy bottom. You know, it's brown on the bottom. Let's check it out. Let's just feel it. I mean, it's crunchy, but it's not like mega crunchy. Let's cut it up and try it. I think that'll be our best bet. I mean, that's not a bad looking pizza. For our first pan pizza in this oven, it is hot though. So you can see it's browned, right? Okay, let's try the crust first. That's good. It's light, fluffy, but crispy. We did add oil, probably like 2 tablespoons of oil under the dough, which is helping with the crunch. I really want to bite from here, but it'll probably melt my face off. So we're gonna wait a minute. Just looking at the pan pizza, I feel like the heat from above could have been a tad bit more. The crust is good, but it's not crunchy. I just like crunchy crust. If you don't, this is perfect probably. But it's just not super crunchy. Okay, time to burn my face off. I really like it. For the first cook, this turned out great. I want to tweak it a little bit to have a better recipe for the pan pizza, but the pizza oven in general, let's focus on that for a sec. Let's hone in on how we feel about it. We cooked a margarita, so we did Neapolitan style, we did New York style, we did thin crust, and we did pan. 4 different types of pizza in one oven for $300. The margarita was my favorite. That one I loved. And that's the kind of pizza I cook the most on my pizza ovens. I love margarita pizza. And this did not disappoint. If you're looking to buy a pizza oven, you don't have any, and you're just cooking them in your oven, and you have an extra $300 to spare, I'd say this is definitely worth your money. Again, this is not a paid promotion. This is my pure, honest opinion. The New York style was really good as well. The thin crust, that one surprised me the most. Did it surprise you the most?
Yeah.
That one surprised me most. It was really good. And the pan pizza, my kids love grandma style pizza, so this is like a must in our house. I do want to find some ways to tweak it. So in the end, I would highly recommend this pizza oven based on its performance today. I can't speak to the longevity of the oven or how it does when you're just cooking like 15, 20 pizzas. That will come later. I'm gonna put this thing through the tests that I like to do, really push it to the limit, and I'll give you a good follow-up when I get there.